Hello, welcome back to my channel. This is the first video of 2022. Happy freaking New Year, bitch. It's actually the 6th of January today here in Oz, so we're a little bit into January already. And to kick off the new year, I wanted to just film a really quick, cute, current favorite romances type of recommendation video. So I'm just going to go through some of the most recent reads that I've really enjoyed, that kind of haven't left me, that I think are fucking bangers and that everyone should read. Do not mind the cap. The hair under this is atrocious. I need to wash it so bad. It's so oily and I'm sweating because it's quite warm today in Oz, you know, being in summer and all that. Some days are like 40 degrees and then the next it's raining and it's 20. There's no in between, bitch. There's no in between. I'm really excited for the new year and I'm excited to start pumping out some good new content with fresh recommendations. January is usually quite a slow month for me reading and uploading, so my uploads won't be as frequent this month, but once the first month of the year passes, we can get into a good solid routine of constant uploads. I'm just a little bit sloppy at the start of the year because my partner's on holidays. We have like holidays this time of year in Oz. So like even with school kids, this is their big break, like their 6-week holiday. And then at the end of January, they start their new school year. So yeah, this time of the year for us is like literally just all over the joint. Like lots of people aren't back at work yet, everyone's still on holidays, everyone's enjoying the sun, we're still holiday mode, you know what I mean? Anyway, that's why I might be a little bit sloppy with my uploads. I have noticed as of recently, before we get into the video, I just cannot be fucked with makeup at the moment. Like this is like bare minimum for me. I haven't even got lashes on, I've just put mascara on, I just can't be bothered. I think it's because it's summer, and in summer it's hot, and I'm just like, I don't want to wear anything. I don't even like wearing clothes, let alone a full face of makeup. So this is what we're dealing with, okay? So without further ado, let's get into this video and these recommendations. First book I want to mention is a book I actually read with my book club. So if you didn't know, I do have a book club membership connected to my YouTube channel. If you go on your laptop and you look at where the subscribe button is, there is also a button to join. You have 2 options to pick from. Do the least expensive one if you would like. Honestly, there's not much difference between the higher priced subscription compared to the lower priced one. And every month I pick 2 books. We read it at the same time, and then I do a dedicated video on the book that we read. Okay? At the moment, I've been uploading 2 videos to do with each book. One is my review. The second is just talking about your reviews and elaborating even more on the plot story that we just read. Anyway, we read 7 Husbands of Evelyn Hugo last month. Look at how much I fucking tagged this. Like, I annotated the shit out of this. The books that I read for the book club, I do annotate a lot because I'm going through it and talking about specific scenes and my thoughts on it. So I do tend to go a little bit overboard. I even write notes on the pages. Anyway, that's beyond the point. We read this. I personally loved this book so much. It was super different to what I usually read. I usually stick to like contemporary dark romance, like new adult type of stuff. I don't really delve into other genres. I do want to get into historical romance. I do have a ton. I will be doing a historical romance collection video very soon, but this technically is a historical romance and I fucking loved it so much. Evelyn Hugo is a boss bitch. So pretty much what this book is about, by the way, it's by Taylor Jenkins Reid, and this was my first Taylor Jenkins Reid book and I fucking loved her writing so much. So this is about this young girl who is a journalist and she has been selected to interview Evelyn Hugo, who is a woman in her late 70s who was like a Hollywood star, think like Marilyn Monroe back in the 50s and throughout that time era. And when she meets Evelyn, Evelyn is like, no, I'm not doing this interview with you. I've sought you out because I want you to write a book about me. And when I die, you can release the book and you can have all the profit. So Monique sits down with Evelyn and goes through her entire life. And obviously the title is The 7 Husbands of Evelyn Hugo. Evelyn was married 7 times. So each kind of part of the book is about, her relationship with that husband. Oh my god. I have like a secret love for like old school Hollywood. Always have. And like even for my 21st birthday, which was 6 years ago nearly, what the fuck, I had a 1920s flapper girl themed party. Like I was obsessed with that time era and even like old school 1950s Hollywood. So reading this, the aesthetic was on point and I just loved Evelyn. It also got me really emotional because there's a lot of things that Evelyn talked about in this book that was to do with like sexism, racism, same-sex marriage and same-sex relationships, and it like made me really sad. I wouldn't say there's any triggers to this book, but just be mindful of what like time era this book takes place. Okay, it's a lot different to the time that we live in now, and I made a comment in my review video with my book club. It's scary because even though times are so different now, they're not different enough. I loved this book. So yeah, I wanted to recommend it. Outside of my book club, if you haven't read this, if you haven't read anything from Taylor Jenkins Reid, I suggest this one. I haven't read anything else from her. I did buy a few more books from her, but so far, I like her writing and this was so good. Then we have this bad boy, Archer's Voice. Now I know this is super popular and people told me that this was one of their favorite reads of 2021. So I read it at the end of the year. I did also annotate it. I loved this book so much. It got me all swoony and shit. It got vagina flutters, fluttering hardcore, which has been a long time since I felt like that. And I just fell in love with Archer Hale. Oh my god. Did I love this book so much? It honestly has not left me since I finished reading it. And I'm really excited to read another book from Mia Sheridan that I recently purchased because I really like the writing style as well. Anyway, it's about this girl who has a situation go down, so she ends up moving to this remote type of town in Maine, and she bumps into Archer at the supermarket and she's flustered instantly when she meets him and he is mute with her. She feels this connection with him and she feels really drawn to him, so then she seeks out to have a friendship with him and it goes from there. He's extremely shut off. He's very much like a lone wolf, lives his own type of life separate from society, but oh my god, is he swoon worthy. I told Read with Jem to read this and I said to her like, this reminds me of Credence in a certain way by Penelope Douglas, but it's more like emotional and it doesn't have like the triangle love with the cousins and the uncle. You know what I mean? Like Archer and Caleb, even though Caleb's more like aggressive. I just had some Credence vibes from this, but not to the extent that it's like exactly like Credence, and they're two completely different stories. This was a 5-star read for me too. Maybe this is like my most recent 5-star reads. Something like that. Beyond the Roses by Monica James. Now, I've had this on my bookshelf for such a long time and I read it not long ago. It was either last week or the week before and holy shit, again, I annotated this. I cried like a fucking baby. This is such an emotional book. I do not want to give anything away, but it's about this girl who goes to like this summer camp type of thing and she volunteers. That's all I'm saying. If you want to fucking cry like a baby and have your heart broken over and over again, please read this. Also, love the cover. It's actually one of the most beautiful covers I've ever seen in my entire life. And I can say that with confidence. Also, Monica James is an Aussie author, which I didn't know. And that just makes my heart flutter 10 times more because I'm such a Aussie bitch, you know what I mean? When I come across Aussie authors, I'm like, yes, I love supporting you. Sex was great. The story was great. I loved the characters. There was angst. It was just like an all over good fucking vibe, if I do say so myself. This next one, I was really surprised that I liked it because I don't really read like mainstream, I guess, books. I'm more of an indie author hoe, you know what I mean? And I don't read Christina Lauren, but I read The Unhoneymooners recently. Now, we're in summer, so I've been binging like summer reads because it's that time of year for me. And I feel like this book is literally perfect if you want like a book in summer. Like truly, I think it's so good. I will just say now that this book does fade to black. which isn't my favorite, but because I had so much fun reading this book, it didn't bother me that the sex scenes were fade to black. So The Unhoneymooners by Christina Lauren is about this girl who has deemed herself unlucky, and she has like this rival type of relationship with her brother-in-law's brother. And when her sister and her brother-in-law get married, they get sick at the wedding and can't go on their honeymoon, so her sister ends up giving her permission to take the honeymoon because she doesn't want to waste it. And the brother-in-law's brother goes on the honeymoon too. So these two people that absolutely hate each other go on a honeymoon together and pretend to be fucking married. I lolled. This is such a good rom-com. There were so many scenes that I was literally pissing myself laughing, cringing, getting secondhand embarrassment. I swooned quite a lot with this book as well, and I just really fucking liked it. It just was different for me, and I needed something like this, like something light and funny and just like, you know, wholesome to read. This is really good. If you don't mind fade to black sex, which I didn't mind, as I said, with this book because I was enjoying it so much. Like, I got so much enjoyment out of reading this book. So then we have Ruined Castles by Amo Jones, and this was released on the 31st of December. This is the finale installment to the Elite Kings Club. It's quite a small read. I fucking love the cover. It's so amazing. Anyway, you can't read this unless you've read the entire series. But if you are wanting to read the series or planning on reading the series, I always suggest you guys to push through the first two books, okay? Push through the first two books. I was immersed in this story as soon as I read it, like, what was it, last year or the year before? And I read the entire series back to back, and as each book goes on, her writing gets better, the plot gets better, and you start understanding more and understanding the world that she's built and these characters better. And Ruined Castles was just like the cherry on top. I got really emotional after Santi Diabolo Part 2 because that was like a book that wrapped up the timeline. And it was like the end, but this just gave you an insight into Madison and Bishop's relationship and how they ended up full circle at the end. I got so emotional. The toxicity of this relationship is so bad, but so good at the same time. I love Madison and Bishop so much. Tilly and Nate are my favorite, but Madship, there's just something about them, you know. They started the series, I started there with them, and, you know, I've been with them through the ups and downs and everything else that's happened. But wow, the opening sex scene was incredible. There was certain parts of this book that really rocked me, and seeing them all together at the end just really filled my heart with so much joy and love, and just, I was an emotional mess, and I have just so much nostalgia connected to that series. Like, if you've read the Elite Kings Club, you understand. It's not for everyone. It's not. I'll be honest. It's not for everyone. But if you love it, you get it. You get it. Okay, lucky last. I wasn't planning on putting these books in this video because I have done a full video dedicated to this trilogy, but I know so many people have read it since I posted that video and have fallen in love with this trilogy that I need to promote it more. I need to push it a little bit more because it deserves so much recognition. I love Kennedy Ryan. She is such a bomb author, and she's a beautiful person. Like, we've had some conversations here and there since I started reading her books, and she's just heart of gold. Love the woman. Anyway, I'm talking about the Grip trilogy. So you have Flow, which is the first book, Grip, which is the second book, and then Still. This is a brother's best friend romance, but there's so much more to it. It's about Bristol, who goes to LA to reconnect with her brother because her brother isn't really connected to her family anymore, and she gets picked up from the airport by Grip, who is her brother's best friend. Now, this book definitely touches base on a lot of serious topics. This is an interracial relationship. Bristol is white and Grip is black, and because of Grip's position and social status and his life, where he comes from, his goals, his ambitions, the industry that he works in, it's a bit of a struggle that they have feelings for one another. The push and pull between the two of them, there's so much angst, man. This is a slow burn, okay? This is a slow burn, but it's like so worth it. It's so emotional. I was crying the entire time. The sex was incredible. So much good smut, like god damn, I was not prepared for this much good sex. But I loved every minute of it. There's drama, a lot. It just consumed me when I read it. I read all 3 books within like 2.5 days, and I was just like, what the fuck? Reeling and spinning, and just what the fuck did I just read type of emotions were flowing through me. I'm sure you guys have already seen me talk about this, but I just wanted to shout it out in this video because as I said, I feel like it deserves more love, and I just want more people to read it because it's so good. Okay, it's quite political because of the race factor, and if you want to know more about it, please watch the video that I filmed dedicated to this trilogy. I'll leave it at the end of the video so you can click and go straight from there. But yeah, it's so good. Grip is definitely one of my #1 book boyfriends ever. I'm going to film an updated book boyfriend video. My book boyfriends have been updated, okay? They've been updated. Anyway guys, that is it for the first video of 2021. These are my most recent favorite 5-star reads. I don't think they're all 5 stars, but mainly most of them are. So yeah, my current favorite books that I've recently read that I've been obsessed with, I love, good quality, top notch. Hopefully you haven't read any of these. If you have read them, do you like them as much as I do? If you haven't read them, go read them. I don't know, okay? Happy fucking New Year. Welcome back to the channel. It's gonna be a year. I'm excited. I've been super inspired recently. I've planned so many good videos for the year. Don't leave before subscribing because it's fucking rude. Follow me on all my social media platforms. Links are down below, as well as the links to these books. Straight to Amazon, baby, if you want to buy the paperbacks or read them on Kindle. I hope you have a wonderful day wherever you are, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!